What up, IDS Mob? It's your boy HarryWilmington here. Today's episode is entitled, Why You Don't Treat Potential as If She's Already the One. So I'm going to read a message from this guy that's had a couple of great dates with a woman, and he's already starting to do things that are indicative of someone being in a relationship, but they're not yet at that stage. And so I kind of want to read this and give caution to you guys that are doing things too early on and too soon that could potentially taste a potential future girlfriend away from you well within the dating stages, all right? So post goes like this. He says, I posted about last weekend and my unexpectedly great date. We went out again on Tuesday evening, a picnic, and then she spent the night at my place. It was really good. Fantastic. If you were able to make that happen, that means you were doing things to make her feel that she could trust you, and obviously she found you very attractive, and so it's always good if you can make that happen. The earlier, the better. Continuing, he says, I let her know that she doesn't seem to like a text. A super mild criticism, but it leaves me confused and anxious. Okay, so she doesn't like the text. Guys, please get over that, okay? Texting kills attraction. And most women, when they're not in front of your face, are usually gonna be pretty busy. So a lot of guys get a misread of if she's not texting a lot, she must not be building a like in me. Here's how to tell if a girl likes you. If you go on a date with her, and you wait a few days to contact her, and then you contact her again and say, hey, let's go out again, and she says yes, you're on your way. That's it. If she's not texting you a whole lot, that's totally fine. She's got a life. I don't text a whole lot, and there are plenty of women that I've been able to date in spite of the low amount of times that I text, because again, when I'm in person with them, I show them a good time. And so this woman might be the same way. She's gonna have a great time with you when you're in person, but if you're not around, you know, texting is a more recent technology. Up until like 20 years ago, people would just call and then just assume that the person would show up on a date and there wouldn't be all this calling and texting in between, okay? So don't think that that's the thing that's necessary to be able to get a read on a person's like. Continuing, he says, the next morning, by the time I got home, she had already texted me about setting up another date, a visit to a dog park with both of our pups. And she has been way more responsive since then. So I'll say this, even though it's not necessary that this woman need to be texting you all this much, the fact that you said that and she was willing to change her behavior to do that, that could be a good sign that indicates she wants to be on your good side because she wants to show that she likes you, okay? But also keep in mind that a lot of times in the beginning, women will acquiesce to some of these requests because they think that they have to, but it could be something that they don't want to do, okay? So don't be surprised if she starts to lean back on the texting again. Do not fault her for that. It could just be her natural state is she wants to really have more of a good time and show you a good time in person, okay? But again, dude, she slept with you. So clearly, not texting a whole lot in between these dates didn't hurt her wanting to like you. That's all I'm saying. So he says, so the dog park date is canceled. My parents have a beach house about an hour or two away and spend almost all summer there, but they are coming up to the city for the 4th of July weekend and offered the beach place to me, or rather, I asked if I could use it. So I invited her to go down to the beach and spend a night there. She was excited to do it, so we are leaving tomorrow. We will take the pups and maybe our bikes and hang out, cook for ourselves, and explore the quaint little town. So I will say this is just a personal bias, so you can take this with a grain of salt, okay? To me, that sounds like a really big trip to do so early on in a dating situation. And so this is not the kind of thing that I would necessarily present so early on, because it could give indicators to the woman that you're already way more serious about you two. And if she's not at that level yet, it could spell disaster for her feelings for you, okay? Even if she agrees to it, even if she goes on the date and has a great time with you, that could still feel like a lot. I remember one time I went on a first or second date with a woman where I took her to a Beyonce concert, a Beyonce and Jay-Z concert. That is a huge, in hindsight, that is a huge date to take somebody on, you know, because Beyonce's a really big star. The tickets cost a whole lot of money. We go to dinner beforehand. And by that third or fourth date, she just wasn't feeling it anymore. So that big grand gesture, and I've had that happen a few times where I've taken women to like these big events or done these big things on a second or third date, but it didn't result in them having feelings. Whereas I've had more success personally whereby on those first couple of dates, it's like a restaurant, a picnic, maybe a movie if I'm lucky. Go back to my place and maybe like, you know, do some activities and work with some stuff, or to go on hikes. Like I keep my first 5 or 6 dates really, really low key because I want it to be more about us connecting and bonding and having conversations than the big thing that I'm doing, which would inadvertently give her a signal that I'm not trying to actually give her. Because to you, guy, you're thinking it's no big deal. It's just a beach weekend. It's whatever. It's not really meaning anything to me because you're not really putting a lot of emotion into it. But how you're feeling about it doesn't matter. What matters is, how is she taking those gestures? How is she reading into those? What kind of emotions is she evaluating from these big things that you're trying to do for her? And if the things that she's feeling is, hey, I'm already picking you as my person and we should just already be together, so I'm going to now do things that indicate that, then that could scare her into thinking that she's being forced to feel things that she's not ready to feel, and she could try to back away. So that's just my 2 cents. This is not necessarily a bad date. I just want you guys to start thinking about when you have these opportunities early on. I know you're thinking, man, I don't know it's going to be our 3rd date, but our 3rd date, I have this opportunity to take it to this beach house and I really want it to go well. But this may be one of those things where you go to the beach house by yourself of your own accord and come back and say, hey, well, when we get into a relationship, that's the kind of trip that I would take you on, but I know we're not there yet, okay? Continuing. He says, I'm obviously excited, but it also feels crazy. We went on our first date 10 days ago. It's hard not to get out in front of my skis. I guess maybe there's beach skis or there. I don't know what he's talking about. He says, I haven't been this excited about anyone in 8 to 9 months, and it seems like there was real potential for something. I went on another first date last night, but otherwise canceled 3 things this weekend and paused all the apps. I can't fairly date anyone else right now, even though I would never talk about exclusivity so soon. The last thing I was super excited about ended really badly as I got the rug yanked out from under me, and it's hard to shake that tinge of impending doom. Okay, guy, you mentioned a lot of stuff here, so let's think about this, okay? To start off, this guy's already removed himself from all the apps, and he's already starting to cancel dates with other people based off a 2-date situation with a potential 3rd in tow, all right? And so this is what I mean when I say he's already seeing potential for something in this woman. And so off of 2 dates, and we'll say collectively maybe 10 hours if you add the overnight time or whatever, but that is not enough time to have really done a proper vetting of a person to see if they have a real connection with you and if they're going to be long-term. Women are better at this than we are. I tell you guys all the time, on average, it takes a woman 2 to 3 months to solidify her feelings for you. And part of that's because they are taking that time to vet you, see if they can trust you, see if your likes are the same as her likes or what you guys have in common before she makes a decision emotionally that she's in love with you and that she wants to be in a relationship. Guys are horrible at this. So we do stuff like this. 2 dates in. I know it's only been 2 dates, but I can already see myself with the future with her. Dude, you're being blinded by the fact that she's pretty and that she hooked up with you. But the reality is you do not know that yet. So this means that even though she has potential, and that's a great thing, you haven't dated her long enough to solidify if she's actually the person that you want to be in a relationship with. Because potential is not the same as this person being the one. So you need to still do your vetting of other people. So you should not be canceling dates with other people. You should not be getting off the apps. If anything, you need to be staying on the apps so that way 2 to 3 months from now, when she starts feeling that she wants to be in a relationship, she can come to you and say, hey, so are you still on the dating apps? Because I'm no longer on the dating apps. And then you can say, oh, well, interesting that you're not on the dating apps. What does that mean? Does me being on the dating apps bother you? And if so, why? Is it because you're thinking about being in a relationship? Because then getting into a relationship is in her court. And that means that you, of your own accord, don't have to ask her for a relationship because you'll know she's ready when she comes to you talking about how bothered she is that you're still on a dating app. Okay? So you need to get back on the apps. Well, if she hasn't been on the apps to see that you've taken it off already, then get back on the apps, put your profile up the same way it was before, and you keep your app up there because she needs to know that she's being vetted also. She needs to know that there's a chance that you're still out there potentially looking at other people to see if maybe they fit better, and that she needs to have her A game up at all times if she wants to eventually be the person that's able to get you and convince you to take yourself off the apps, okay? Also, I noticed he said the last thing he was super excited about ended really badly because he got the rug yanked out from under him. Why do we think that happened? We can always speculate, but my speculation is that he thought things were going really well, and then he came to her trying to talk about a relationship when she wasn't ready yet, at which point, oh, I'm not there yet. This is why, guys, you always wait for the woman to come to you and signal that she's ready for a relationship, because we know us. After 2 or 3 good dates and a nice hookup, we're already ready, okay? So, but you putting the pressure on her, or you coming to her asking for a relationship feels like pressure to her. Okay? You need to let women come to you. And trust me, if she's consistently saying yes to dates, she seems to be having a good time, you're getting regular hookups, after 2 or 3 months of that consistency, and she's liking it, of her own accord, she will come to you and start asking those questions, okay? So just lean back and chill and don't worry and don't try to force anything too fast, too soon, and don't be making moves on a potential that's not an actual relationship yet, because that can very much scare them away. And then he says, I guess the advice I'm looking for is how to balance the excitement with the reality that we barely know each other. The anxiety only really creeps in when we are not together. When we are together, it's all good. And then he says, I don't generally have an anxious attachment style. Well, that could be very true, but a lot of men get very anxious in their dating lives. And anxiety comes from a place of feeling insecure and unknowing and being afraid of what's going to happen because you don't know. This is why if you're a guy that's very anxious, you'll oftentimes be saying things to women on dates like, so, how's this date going? And how do you feel about me? And are you seeing other people? And how do you feel about us? And those are all indicators that you're not really a confident guy who has the confidence to believe that if he's just a patient guy that's showing her a good time, that she will, of her own accord, show her own signals. And I think men forget that. Men forget that women that like you help you. Women that want to be with you will ask you those questions, will give you signals, will say things like, oh, hey, babe, I got you on this date, or hey, come over to my place, I want to cook a meal for you, or hey, so I just want you to know that I'm not on the dating apps anymore. Oh, hey, I think you're really, really cute, or that shirt looks nice on you. Like, women that like you will let you know all these things because they're trying to signal to you, hey, guy, I like you. I don't want there to be any kind of guess that I like you. So I'm going to let you know in these various ways that I like you. All right. And that is also true of when they're ready to be in a relationship. Okay. But most guys don't get to that point because they're not able to wait. After 2 or 3 dates, you're already starting to get anxious and feeling these things like, I don't know where I stand with her, and is she seeing anybody else, and I'm off the apps, and what should I do? And it all starts with being able to be a more confident guy, to realize that you have value, that you have worth, and that the women that you're dating see that in you. You may not see it. You may be, putting on the front right now and faking the funk and trying to act like you're all confident, but behind the mask, you're secretly like that scared little boy who couldn't get women as a kid, and you're thinking, at any moment now, she's gonna pull the rug out from under me, like this guy, and she's gonna really dump me or start seeing somebody else. And dude, if a woman's consistently saying yes to a date for you, she's more often than not gonna be in your corner. But you could start acting in ways that make her second guess yourself, all right? Now, if you need help with figuring out how to handle all those kind of emotions, how to be less anxious and more confident, I am happy to help you with that. You can go to introvertdatingsuccess.com, click on the coaching tab, and we can set up a one-on-one consultation where I will help you be able to figure out like your dating situation and figure out how to be more confident and how to just love yourself more and be able to see that you actually have worth that these women want, even in the way that you already are, all right? That's at the website. So hopefully this guy will figure it out. I did leave him a comment. I told him the stuff I tell you guys all the time. I said it takes 2 to 3 months. And I said, just be consistent. If you're consistently asking women out 1 or 2 times a week, you're showing her a good time, you're having some great hookups, and just repeat that without bringing up the emotional stuff, without bringing up, oh, and I want to be in a relationship, yada, yada, yada. Then after 2 or 3 months, she will let you know she's ready. I'm telling you guys, it's happened for me time after time. It's like clockwork, okay? So don't think this is some BS I'm just pulling out of my butt, okay? This is a legitimate way for you to get into a relationship. So hopefully, guy, this helps you out. For more of these shows, go to youtube.com/HarryWilmington. You can also support the show by subscribing to my YouTube channel or going to the website, clicking on the tip jar tab, and leaving a monetary thank you. I also got links to do that down in the description below. All right, that's all I got. I'm Harry Wilmington, and I will catch you guys on the next episode. I'm out. Peace.
Thanks for listening to the Introvert Dating Success Podcast. Visit us at introvertdatingsuccess.com for more great tips on attracting women using your natural introvert charm.